What is the story going to be today? I know what it should be, Tom, but what is the story today with the World Series?
Well, as it relates to the Royals, Dan, I think it's a question of, did they capture something here that other teams will want to copy? In other words, their aggressiveness offensively, the fact that they don't strike out, they put the ball in play. They're not worried about running up pitch counts. They see a good pitch to hit, they put it in play. They take a whack at it, play great defense. There's so many strikeouts in the game today that the Royals found a formula for their ballpark especially that really plays well in tournament-style baseball in the postseason when you see all that power pitching. And my question is, are other teams going to look at this and say, hey, they got something there? Or will they say, you know what, this is just lightning in a bottle, one-year fluke? It's not a fluke. I mean, this team was years in the making by GM Dayton Moore.
Yeah, and I know that with the Mets weren't a better team, but they were riding those pitchers and the momentum of the previous series. They had timely hitting, but then you don't hit, you strike out a lot, the rotation is not as dominating, and you play bad defense. You can't do that against Kansas City. Take me into the booth, though, 8th inning, when you see Harvey and Collins have the exchange, and what you think is going to happen in that 9th inning.
That was so cool. First of all, we were watching it live on the monitor during the break, and you could see, first of all, that Worth and Collins were engaged in a somewhat lengthy discussion about what to do. There was some doubt, obviously, between the two of them. And then it was like, okay, you break the news to Matt that he's coming out of the game, and Morton got this short straw and walked down there and told him. I knew Matt was going to fight to stay in that game. There was no question about it. But my thinking watching it all unfold in the dugout was that, okay, you've got the 9th inning, Matt, but as soon as somebody gets on base, you're out of the game, which is the way a lot of managers do it. You don't want to put a guy then in a stretch position to start to execute pitches. We know he's tiring. So obviously that was not communicated, and I think I didn't have a problem with Matt going out there. I did have a problem with Terry leaving him after a walk to lead off the inning.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I said in the moment, hey, I love it. But I do think the media played a role in Harvey wanting to be out there, Tom. What was it, a month ago, we're all questioning his toughness. Now he has the stage. He's got a shutout, and he's saying, look, I'll go out there. I want the ball. You cannot take me out of the game. I appreciate that, but I think Collins erred in leaving him out there after he walks Kane.
Yeah, well, let's think back to that 180-inning limit, though. That originally came from his agent, not really from Matt. And I think Matt was in a compromised situation there where he didn't want to cross his agent. I really didn't hear Matt say, oh, no, you have to shut me down here. I think he was caught off guard by the backlash, no question about it, in terms of the media firestorm. But I think he did always want the ball. And, listen, he was well over 200 innings pitching that game. On regular rest, not extra rest this time, and the fact that he went out there with just A-plus stuff, elimination game, all those innings after pitching none at all last year, that was a gutsy game. And I got to tell you, the moment when he ran on the field to take them out in the 9th inning was one of the coolest things I've seen in a World Series game, because the fans didn't know whether the bullpen door was opening or Harvey was coming out of the dugout. And when he came out and they had been chanting, "We want Harvey," it was just awesome, and especially to see him sprint to the mound. That was pretty cool. Not the ending they wanted, but that moment in and of itself was just so dramatic.
What about the Mets' future here?
They have to improve their defense. Think of it. The biggest play in the game, obviously, was Hosmer scoring on the ground ball to third base. 2 reasons why he even attempted to score. Number one, David Wright is compromised with that back issue. You see the way he has to throw the ball to first base. That takes time to throw, and there's an arc on the ball when he throws to first base. Hosmer knew that. He also knew that Duda is a below-average first baseman, and he panicked on the throw. Good throw, and we're playing Game 6.
Yep.
And, of course, Murphy, with his issues at second base, he's a free agent, not likely to be back. But with that kind of pitching, you really have to support it with premier defense. That's what John Sherholtz did in Atlanta. He went out and got Rafael Belliard and Terry Pendleton to support those young pitchers he had there. The Mets really have to shore up their defense, and I'm still concerned about their young pitchers because they were extended this year. Wheeler will be coming off Tommy John surgery. Mets will have to watch his innings next year. The way they extended Syndergaard, especially more than the other two, because he's younger. Something to keep your eye on. It's great on paper, but they'll continue to have to manage the innings of these young guys.
One other thing I'm just thinking about, if we did not have Tommy John surgery, would these kids be pitching the same way?
Probably. What I've noticed, Dan, is this is really nothing new, but in the travel baseball world, it's all about velocity. The radar gun is what drives the amateur market. So you're having pitchers go out there, not so much pitching, but really throwing hard to get the attention of scouts and college coaches, and throwing competitively a lot. That's why we're seeing the Tommy John surgeries earlier and earlier. And I don't see that changing. We are teaching kids to throw harder, but at a young age, I'm not sure that it's a really good thing.
Got an update on the Dodgers managerial search?
Not really. It's a very interesting slow play that's going out there. I thought Gabe Kapler was the guy to, the favorite because they know him so well. Andrew Friedman knows him from Tampa and obviously the last couple of years in L.A. But the fact that they're waiting a little bit here tells me that maybe they want to go with somebody with experience. I just think it's a very difficult job to drop on a guy who has never managed before.
I know you're on deadline, Tom. Great job during the playoffs. Thanks for joining us.
You got it, man. Thank you.
Tom Verducci.